I wanted to give you my thoughts on this Hoover PowerScrub XL. I got it a couple of days ago and I've been using it. I use it to clean the whole house. Now, to give you an idea, this is just the upstairs. So I've done this room, pretty significant landing area with a home office, another room, and then again, did about the same downstairs, several big rooms. Now, it's by no means a perfect machine. TLDR, it's a very good machine, it's not perfect, and I'll walk you through some of the things that you might want to be wary of. But it was actually exceptionally hard for me to get my hands on one of these machines. I ended up getting it from the Amazon warehouse, and so that should tell you something. If a machine is selling that well, there's probably a reason for it. Okay, so let me start you with the things that I don't like. Now, first off, when it arrives, it is an absolutely gigantic box, which is understandable from a certain point of view because it is quite a large machine. But the point is not so much the size. There is so much in there, it actually gets a bit overwhelming and you have to put it together. Not a lot, but a little bit. But I wouldn't say it's obvious as to what goes where. So you're really going to want to, I'd say, grab the instruction manual. It's an instruction sheet and just read that so you know what you're doing. So you do have to put this pole in and you have to put that water tank in, which is, so this is the one that contains a combination of the water and the cleaning fluid. This is the dirty water reservoir. Now, I know I said I was going to start with the negatives. I've left that in here for a reason. That's to show you how effective the machine is. But just going back to the negatives, so it's a bit overwhelming when you get it. Follow the instruction manual. When I first put the water tank on, can you see it's not really sitting in there completely? And I was worried that that meant there was something wrong with the machine or that it was going to leak. No, that's actually the way that at least this unit is. So the build quality in some areas maybe leaves a little bit to be desired. The other thing I noticed when I started using the machine was that the power cord actually comes out from the bottom of the machine right here. And what was happening was this cord would drag along the floor and I would keep stepping on it without exaggeration, probably once a minute, and it was getting really annoying because I don't want to obviously yank the cord out of the machine and damage it. What I subsequently found was that there is actually a little hook here to wind or to push the lead through. Now that is a tiny detail, but it makes a huge difference because now the cord is up here. I can hold it very easily in my other hand, but also it's not dragging along on the floor. So just bear that in mind. Now, this wasn't mentioned in the instruction manual, which is why I'm mentioning it. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Now, let me explain to you why I'm holding this. This came with the machine, and this is probably the other negative that I have. To show you the other negative, I'm going to do a bit of disassembly here. So this, as I said, is the water tank that has the clean water, just tap water, and the cleaning fluid in it. It does come apart pretty easily. And this one is the dirty water fluid. That goes down there. Now, I've removed that so that I can show you the cleaning head. Forgive my shaky camera work. But can you see this? This head is where it sucks up all the dirt. Or the, in this case, maybe human hair, but I have a cat and he molts quite a lot. Or this is probably cat fur. Now, you're going to want to take this off, and indeed you can, like so. And you're going to want to clean this pretty much, I think, every time you use a machine, because you don't want this stuff sort of sitting in the head and molding or growing some funky stuff. Now, the issue is, look how narrow that opening is. And I didn't know, I didn't see, again, because there's so much stuff in the box, I didn't know they had included this little tool here, which is a simple sort of almost like a plastic hook, but quite narrow. And it was almost impossible to get all of this clogged up fur out of the head just using a tap in my fingers. I actually went into the garden to get some fine sticks to help me sort of push all this fur out. What I then discovered was this tool, which is actually narrow enough to fit down this head and to help you poke out all this debris. Now, it's not perfect because this tool is not the easiest to get in there between all these little, I guess, catching areas. And so it's not easy to clean. It's certainly much easier with this tool, but cleaning this head takes a little bit of, let's say, elbow grease. And you would also, this may be not a negative, but just be mindful you're going to have to also clean the brush head. This is a sort of machine that cleans so well and cleans so much. You're not just going to want to clean and then put it away in your cupboard with all this stuff attached to it. Maybe it's because this is the first time I used it, so you could argue that it got a lot of stuff off the carpet, but we use a vacuum cleaner every week. And so it's not like it's really a filthy house or anything like that. And you can see, again, pet fur, cat fur in this case, it's wound up around the counter-rotating heads. This is supposed to be used so you can pull it off, but I mean, you can just use your hand for that. But this head is definitely hard to clean. The tank itself is very easy to clean. You can lift the lid off, pour it down the sink. I wouldn't pour it anywhere where you want to prepare food. Maybe just pour it down the shower or a drain outside, and then give it a good rinse. That's super easy to clean. The only other thing I would say is that, especially when you have this unit assembled with the water tank in it, it's not light. It's nowhere near as light as the vacuum cleaner that I use in any case. And so if you have to carry it upstairs like I did, there's no real easy way of doing that. And I say that because, yes, there is this handle, but this is one, remember, you assemble when it comes, and you just stick it in here, and there's a little metal peg, but that's it. And there's no way that you want to carry the entire weight of this unit with the water tank full just by carrying onto this handle. I'm worried that it would snap. And so you really, to carry it, you can't carry it, lift it up by the handles here, because if you lift it up by the tank handle, the tank comes off. So you really have to lift under the machine and carry the whole thing up. It's quite heavy. It's reasonably bulky. If you are an elderly person or a frail person, or you have some sort of physical incapacity, this is not the easiest machine, certainly, to carry up and down stairs. And then even when you're pushing it, it takes quite a lot of strength to push, much more so than an ordinary vacuum cleaner. So just bear that in mind. I don't think it's possible to have a machine like this that isn't quite bulky, because obviously you've got cleaning solution in it, but it's certainly not easily portable for, as I said, if you're elderly or you're infirm. You might want to think twice about getting a machine like this, just because it is quite difficult to carry around and then to actually use. Okay, now that all being said, let me tell you about the good stuff. Now, firstly, once you get used to the machine, it's exceptionally easy to take apart for cleaning and to put together. You already saw me take this handle off. It's very easy to take the brush off as well to clean. You just use these buttons down here, it pops off, and you can clean that very easily. Putting the tanks back in, once you actually know what you're doing, and forgive me because I've got to do this with one hand, that dirty water tank goes in there. You can see how easy that is to put in, and that's done. And then this clean water tank, again with a solution that goes on like that. And we're done, and we're good to go. So it's very easy to put together once you know what you're doing. And again, read the instruction manual. And then to pull apart for cleaning, which is just as important, if not more so, is also exceptionally easy. Now the controls, you will see, and again, read the instruction manual for this. So that is the power pedal that will turn the machine on and off. This is the pedal to recline the handle. So the handle, if I push that down, you can see now the handle comes back. The only other control there is this little trigger here. Now this trigger dispenses the cleaning solution from this tank, and what they recommend is that as you push the unit forwards, you dispense, and then you pull the unit back to sort of clean it up and hoover it up. Now what I have found with those counter-rotating brushes down there and the head, which as I said is hard to clean, it does a very good job of sort of vacuuming up and evaporating almost all the solution you put down pretty quickly. So the carpets dry a lot more quickly than you might think. So it's actually very easy to use once you get used to it. It's got a nice long power cord. The tank holds enough fluid to easily, I would say, do 2, maybe 3 rooms. It obviously kind of depends on how much you dispense with that trigger. And the dirty water tank, that also lasts a good amount of time. And you'll notice when this is full, because there's a little indicator that comes up there to show you when it's full. The counter-rotating brushes down there, the ones that were caked with the pet fur, they are very effective. I feel it's much more effective than a simple roller because they counter-rotate, and it's very good at getting dirt that you didn't even know was in there, and pet fur, in my case, up and into the machine to suck it up. I do think the real proof of how effective this machine is and why I would certainly recommend it is just see how dirty that water is. Now, this is upstairs in my bedroom and upstairs here, which, as I said, I vacuum pretty much every week. There's not a lot of traffic up here. There's not a lot of dirt. There's not a lot of staining. And yet, it's pulled out that much dirt. I know it's a bit gross, but it's pulled out that much dirt from this carpet. So, and it pulled up a lot more from downstairs where there's a lot more foot traffic, and the water was black and pretty disgusting. So, does it work? Well, it's not making this up, is it? So it definitely works. And as I said, with a few quibbles, it's actually very easy to use once you get used to it. And so the machine works brilliantly. Is it going to get every stain out of the carpet? No. But nothing does that. We have some ingrained stains downstairs. We had professional cleaners come in with seam cleaners. They can't get it out. But what I will say with this is your carpets, they will look cleaner, definitely. They will feel so much cleaner afterwards, because I think what it does is it loosens up the ingrained dirt, sucks it out, and then your carpets, at least here, they felt so much softer. The cat loved it afterwards. He was rolling around just on the carpet because it was so comfortable for him. So the machine definitely works. I've already mentioned sort of my quibbles with it. It's not perfect, but I think for what it does, so if you want to be able to shampoo your carpets and do it at home without having to bring in the professionals, I think it does an amazing job. It is a bit cumbersome to carry around and takes a bit of elbow grease, but I don't think you could get away with a very tiny machine when you have to have dual water tanks. I think Hoover has maybe 3 different shampoos that you can use. I'm using the antibacterial one because I like the sound of that, because that's normally why you get a steam cleaner in, is to kill the germs. This one, by the way, doesn't use hot water, so it's not going to kill the germs that way, but the antibacterial shampoo will. And you've already seen the dirty water tank. It does an amazing, you can see the results for yourself. So give it a go, and I think you're going to be very, very impressed. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention. It does come with a lot of accessories that make it easy to clean your sofa or your car, and you plug the hose in there. I didn't mention it because I haven't used those yet, but it's very easy to put those on and use those as well. So it does come with a heap of accessories.